Okay. Hiya. This is my pitch presentation for my final major project. It's going to be about preppers, so people who prepare for like extreme situations. I'm going to get more into that during this presentation. We're going to do the basics, the what, why, and how, what this project's going to be about, what preppers are, why I want to do this project, and why I've made this subject the subject, how I'm going to get to the end goal, how I'm going to plan this, stuff like that. And then we've got the other three: SWOT analysis. If you don't know what SWOT analysis is, it's about strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So, what I'm going to face realistically during this entire project. Research, everybody knows what that is. I'm going to be looking where I can get it, who from, primary, secondary, stuff like that. Scheduling, really and truly, whenever you're making a project, you need to schedule it. You need to do it week by week, see where you are, because it also helps you track your progress and to make sure you are on schedule. Okay, so the what? I'm going to be doing this about preppers, as I've already said. Preppers are people who excessively prepare for certain things. I've got a couple of examples here, but I'm actually going to also give you a little bit extra information. So, preppers are people who are planners, stockpiling resources, and prepare for the unknown threats, whether that's man made, stuff like war and lockdown, or if it's like something natural, like, well, natural disasters and stuff like that. Survivalists are a little bit different. They are actually people who adapt and hone skills for survival. So, whether that's camping, being able to make a fire, stuff like that, in any type of situation, regardless the specific threat. So, they are ever so slightly different. I will be touching up on that in this project, but primarily preppers, the people that stock up and stuff. Okay. Why? So, trying to find a why is difficult, partly because I normally over explain myself, but I just three simple things because it's interesting, flexible, and fun. That's all I need, and that is my reason. How? Okay, so my Zomb A and my Zombie, my plan A and my plan B, very similar. In a sense of it's going to be about the people, very much so. So, my plan A is a 20 to 30-minute documentary. Now, that may seem long, however, I did a little bit of research into this already, and to class as long form on, say, YouTube as a video documentary, 10 minutes is the minimum to be classed as a long form. So, I personally think 20 to 30 minutes is actually okay. Long form is also coming back into like fashion despite the attention deficit disorder that most people have. In a way, I'm going to do this as a style of a vlog, me learning and living the life of a prepper. I'm going to be touching up on the different types, as I already have in this presentation, a little bit. So I'm going to do a deep dive into the backgrounds and showing the reality of it. Plan B is very, very similar, as you can see. If I can't get, say, a person to actually talk to, whether that be a person experiencing it or a professional, then I'll probably just try and get as much information as I can from different places and then just talk about it. Okay, SWOT analysis is always important, no matter how big or small this project is, or any project for that matter. So, strengths is the S, obviously. So strengths, I already have the equipment, so that includes hardware and software. Hardware, I've got the cameras, I've got tripods, I've got all that lovely stuff. Software, I've got the entire Adobe package, so that includes Audition, Premiere Pro, Acrobat, Photoshop, all the editors and stuff. So I have a general storyboarding idea that also includes frame by frame ideas on what to film, where to film, and places like that. The weaknesses can be very difficult. However, it is always important to break it down bit by bit. I do have to travel for footage that I want, and I won't get, say, copyright infringements or anything like that, and that's okay. I'm more than willing to. I've got loads of great locations that I can film near me, but it is still a weakness in my eyes. The topic in itself on preppers slash survivalists is a little too flexible, and I do need to specifically hone in on a certain scope and angle. And it can be a little bit difficult to pick a certain direction. People are unpredictable, so preppers tend to be very shy and wary people because they're not classed as normal, you know? So getting people to stick to a certain interview time might be a little bit difficult, but we'll see. Opportunities, I'm learning something new, I'm viewing something new, I get to have amazing conversations and meeting new people. That's an obvious, I'm learning new skills because hopefully, but not a guarantee, that I'll actually be able to talk to somebody and they'll be able to teach me. And it's sharing knowledge. It's so important to share knowledge. So that's an opportunity as well. Threats, bad weather. I cannot control the weather, unfortunately. So for getting B-roll, bad weather might infringe that, like might make that bad, but that's okay. I'll just roll with the punches, see where it takes me, see what happens. And if it doesn't fit, then I won't include it and I'll just get something else, but that's okay. Gatekeeping information, I'm a little bit worried about this, but there are other places to look for. I don't have to specifically go to people to get this information, but that is one thing I'm worried about. Again, copyright infringements on YouTube. I have had a strike on my channel in the past, in actually recent weeks, actually. But don't worry, I went to copyright school and I got rid of that and I took the steps to try and get rid of that and stuff like that. It is a possibility that this project does not engage with a certain audience. However, looking at everything that I want to include, everything I want to talk about, I think it will be engaging enough and will be able to also be interesting enough that people will maintain for the full 20 to 30 minutes, probably 30 minutes realistically. Equipment breaking is always a worry, no matter who you are, where you are. Batteries running out mid shooting, but I have spare batteries, so hopefully. Research. So you got the primary and secondary professionals and people that are experiencing. So that's your quantitative and qualitative research. Social media, it's a bit of a strange one because while social media is great to get into contact with people, it can also and see what people think, what people say. Social media can be a little bit dangerous with the platforms and the communities that are already there. YouTube is a great one for people that have already shared the knowledge of like how-tos, tutorials, and just a community that has already been built. Books, there are a load of books on how-to guides. Most of these YouTube channels have also released their own books as an extra income, but it's also sharing that knowledge. So again, that's overcome the gatekeeping threat. But yeah, books are a good one. I would have to pay for them though, but I'll do that if I have to. Websites, there are websites, there are articles. There was an article released recently within recent days of me making this video about what this reporter would need to survive. It's a very interesting read and I'll probably actually put a link in the description down below. So again, real people, you get your quantitative and your qualitative. There are professionals out there that have looked at the psychology of this. I can probably reach out to those people. The people that are experiencing it have already created a community. Most of those communities are on social media, so I'd have to join a group and see if anybody's willing to talk. Failing that, I'll just use the information that they shared with each other and pose questions as if I were a prepper to try and get as many answers as possible to gain insights and stuff like that. Courses, there are like survivalist courses out there, like how to, I don't know, build a fire or how to camp if you have no equipment, stuff like that. They are out there. They're normally summer courses though, so scheduling is really, really important. We are currently in March. So we had Jam Week, which is the meetings. Last week was Planning Week, which I used to do this. This week is the very beginning of our FMP, making the pitches and structuring what our presentation and what our project will look like, what we want it to look like, and taking on constructive criticism to improve that, to improve our idea and to expand it. Near the end of this month, I want to try and start to reach out to people, see if anybody's interested in being a part of this, whether they're wanting to be interviewed or whether they're willing to share information and knowledge. Next month is primarily research, maybe interviews if I can fit them in or if people are willing to participate, but otherwise it is a very research heavy month, which is okay, which is normal. And I'll also be starting filming B-roll whenever I can. And then I'm going to be continuing filming B-roll and filming any last bits and pieces. I'll be compiling all of that information, all that video, and I'll start editing all the way until deadline, which is June 14th, I do believe. So I've taken a couple of notes, primarily just for me, but I will be editing until the deadline because realistically, I'm not going to edit it in a couple of days. So this is the checklist that I'm going to be using to make sure that I cover everything, make sure that I don't miss anything in this project, and make sure that when it comes time for examiners to take a look at it, that I haven't skimped out on anything basically, and try and get the best possible marks. I hope this presentation is enough. I hope that you have enjoyed this presentation, and if you have got any ideas on how to betterment this, please tell me in the comments down below. This is probably going to go up on YouTube because I'm not able to embed or post photos on my website anymore because I've maxed out my storage space. So I'm going to put this on YouTube and you can engage with it whenever you want. I will see you next time.